Have you ever felt completely drained after spending time with someone? Or just completely exhausted after staying in a situation that you felt that you were really stuck in and it was no longer serving you? As young women, we have felt most of these things in our lives. And if you are someone who resonates with this video is just for you because we are going to dive into 7 clear signs that it's time to move on from a person or a situation. And for those of you who don't know, I'm Pranoti. I'm a communications, wellness, and mental clarity coach for young women entrepreneurs as well as professionals. Uh, I help young women gain confidence, get better in public speaking, and also gain mental clarity to live a better version of their lives for themselves. So, yeah, let's just dive into this list. Give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel to stay tuned. I like to make these post-its, so we'll be going over them as a list of 7 signs to move on. The first sign is you feel emotionally drained rather than being uplifted when you spend time in this particular situation or this particular person. Now, look, I know firsthand that it's hard to move on from things that seem very familiar to you. But sometimes, even when it hurts, you know that it's the right time. And these 7 signs are what are the factors which are going to reinforce your decision, which somewhere at the back of your mind, in your heart, you already know. So, yes, the first sign is if you're not feeling uplifted after spending time with someone and it's sucking the energy out of you, it's making you more anxious, making you overthink, it is a red flag, okay? It is a sign that this particular situation or this particular friendship or a relationship is no longer meant for you. So, that's your sign one. Your sign two is your growth is stunted, be it emotionally, be it socially, be it professionally. You feel that you are stuck in a situation where you are not feeling supported, where you are not feeling like you're challenged to grow more in a particular direction. To give you an example of this, let's say you are in a relationship, you come across a problem and you want to fix it. Like any normal problem solver, you just want to go for it and you want to find 100 different solutions, use the trial and error methods, and try out different things to just fix the problem that is present. You may be willing to put in the work to do so, but the other person may not be willing to. Now, you can show them your enthusiasm, you can be persistent, you can try to inspire them to be more into this process, but you can't actually make someone make you feel supported or make you feel challenged. It's something that should come from within. You can't force things on people, and their actions are not in your hands. They are not in your control. So if you feel that you're stuck in this kind of a situation where your growth is stunted, then yes, that's a sure shot sign to move on. The third factor being you start making excuses. You start making excuses for rationalizing the behavior that you know you don't completely agree with. Think about when you talk to yourself. Okay, I can understand some people may not talk about their relationship problems with their friends or with their family members. But let's say if you were to talk about it with a friend or a family member, would you find yourself giving excuses for their bad behavior, or would you find yourself making excuses for questionable behavior, giving rationalizations for why your partner behaved in a certain way, or for that matter, even giving rationalizations for why you have stayed in a situation that is no longer serving you? So, if you find yourself making excuses, that is again a sign for you to rethink where you are and in which direction you want to go in. So that's sign 3. Sign 4 is you start questioning your worth. While spending time with this person, or after spending time with this person, or being in this situation, you start questioning yourself that am I good enough? Am I worthy? Do I deserve this? Should I be here? You start feeling really unworthy of things. You are maybe feeling very unappreciated. You lose confidence in yourself. You become really cautious about doing things which you would maybe do on a different day, on one of your better days. And if that is the case, again, it's a sign for you to break free from that situation. Then we have the next sign, which is you feel obligated to be in that particular situation or to be in that relationship, but you don't feel invested, like you are a part of it, like you're involved in it, like you want to give your time and effort to it. In such situations, what helps is ask yourself this question: why have you stayed there? Is it out of guilt? Is it out of fear? We can be afraid of certain things, like we can be afraid of hurting our partners, we can be afraid of hurting our friends, which can cause us to be dishonest or stay in certain situations which are no longer serving us, and indirectly they are also not serving the other person. You are not doing them any favor by staying in a situation longer than you have to. So that is again a sign for you to move on. This brings us to sign number 6, which is your anxiety parameters start going up and your peace starts reducing, taking a back seat. If you find yourself getting very tensed over small things, feeling really anxious, being stressed out, and that too even on your best days, I can understand that some days can be harder than others. There will be ups and downs in any relationship or any situation that you may feel stuck in because it's very difficult. But if you are starting to feel really anxious, tensed up, and stressed even on your best days, that is a sign to rethink about the things and people in your life and the situations that you are putting yourself in. So that brings us to the last sign, which is actually the best one: intuition. Trust that gut which is inside you. And sometimes you'll find that it is screaming at you because somewhere deep down in your heart, you know what is right for you. And sometimes you just have to trust that feeling. Now, while doing this, a word of caution: there will be limiting beliefs playing a role. So, limiting beliefs may prevent you from trusting someone, it may prevent you from taking more risks in your life. But the key here is to distinguish the difference between a limiting belief and an intuition. Limiting belief is something that comes when you are afraid of doing a certain thing, taking a certain risk. Intuition is just this voice deep inside you which cannot really be explained. And I think that should be another video because we can't dive into it for now. But you know what I mean by intuition. It's exactly that voice inside you which is screaming that no, this situation is not right for you. So, yes, you have to move on from that. And the best solutions to do this, to identify these signs and eventually act on them, is you have to set clear boundaries, okay? I know in this day and age, a lot of us are really afraid of saying no, and we don't want to let people down, we don't want to let our family down, we don't want to let our friends down. We keep thinking that, okay, what if I say no? And there are two factors. A, you'll be scared of how people will perceive you because you're a big people pleaser. I know what it feels like. I used to be one. And B, that there is fear of missing out. What if something great is happening out there which I'm missing out? And most of the time, that is not the case. If you make your life, if you build your life in such a way that you are really enjoying it, you are not really missing out on anything. And actually, in the pursuit of running behind others and chasing others, you are missing out on spending time with yourself, getting to know yourself, searching who your real self is, and enjoying your own company. So that's one point, that set clear boundaries. It's just top tier self care. And the second one is support. Now, support comes in two different formats. Support also comes from yourself. Actually, that's the best kind of support you can rely on because you are not really dependent on anyone to get that kind of support. Someone once told me I was going through a tough situation and I expressed it to a close friend who told me that you always have you, which is obviously true. You don't really need anyone. But what happens is, whenever we are going through these tough situations, we victimize ourselves. We kind of beat ourselves into a hole, into a spiral where we start thinking about really dark things and we start feeling like, oh, but I'm not supported, I'm all alone, who's going to help me? You are, and you can. So, yeah, please show up for yourself. And the second kind of support comes from your really trusted circle, your close friends, your family members. So, if you are surrounded by these kind of people who you trust and who you love, it's okay to be vulnerable. It's okay to express yourself. And as women, we experience a lot of emotions. And the more we let them flow, the more we process these emotions, the better we get to live. Because trust me, nothing good comes out of bottling them down. One day, an outburst will just happen. It's like a ticking time bomb. It's just waiting for you to burst out and it will blow up, explode all over the situation. So, these two are the best solutions to do that. So, I hope these signs will help you figure out your life in a better way. Thanks for listening and stay tuned for the next episode.